So my name is Maureen Magee, and I'm currently the Interim Director of the Norwegian Refugee Council's office in Geneva, where we focus on humanitarian policy. Yeah, I think coming to Geneva has been a surprise. I've been in the field. I spent about 10 years in Africa and a small amount of experience in the Middle East as well, really in operational work. So I've been a manager, working as a head of office, as an area manager, and as a country director in a number of our operations. And I came to this role during a maternity cover, so as an interim position, which has allowed me to really understand better how the humanitarian architecture works, how policy decisions are set, and a better understanding of what is happening at a Geneva and a New York global level and how that really relates to the field. And I hope that in my time here, I'm able to also better bring in the link of how these decisions and policies that are being made really translate to the field and how that interaction can be made better. So I think after being here for this time, it will also make me a stronger country director in the field, having understood how the larger humanitarian system is working. An important element of the current humanitarian system is coordination. With the proliferation of humanitarian actors in the field, it is very important that our actions are coordinated so that we don't overlap and we don't miss out on other populations in need. Humanitarian coordination is guided generally in the field by a humanitarian country team, which is led by a humanitarian coordinator who's part of the UN system. NGOs are a critical part of the humanitarian coordination, and the HCT, the Humanitarian Country Team, were generally represented 3, 4, 5 NGOs, along with heads of UN agencies and oftentimes representatives of donors. So a large part of my role as a country director has been security management. We work in some of the most difficult contexts in the world where there is oftentimes open conflict, but there are also poor roads, traffic accidents, robberies, things that can go wrong in any context in the world. And as a country director, we're responsible for making sure that the plans and the systems are in place to mitigate against those risks, to identify where the threats are coming from, and to make sure that we do all that we can to minimize the risk. But we can never be 100% sure. I was working in Eastern Congo, and although we had very strict security plans, which the staff were trained upon, because that's the key as well. Oftentimes we develop great plans, and then if the staff isn't trained thoroughly, then the plans don't serve for anything. And it's your drivers, it's your field staff that are on the front line that face considerable risks. In Eastern Congo, we had excellent plans in place, but we were going to a part of the country where the security situation was very, very volatile. We were doing food distribution, which can be a sensitive activity because people want access to food. They want to be able to sell the food on the market in order to have revenue. And we had a team going to the field. They were in regular contact, as our security rules provide. So satellite phone, VHF, HF, cell phones where there was network, and in contact with our radio operator every 1 to 2 hours in given places along the road so we could follow their movement. We received a communication saying that they were in a certain area and that they had just been ambushed. Communications were cut. We spent the next 45 minutes on the phone trying to figure out what was happening. They were in a place that was very far from any other humanitarian actor that was in the field at that time, and there was no way we could get to the location, nor did we know if it would be safe to send someone else into that location. And as a country director, thinking about those 10 people sitting in a car, not having any idea what's happening, people I've been working with for over a year, it's a very difficult position to be in. Luckily, they were very well trained. They stayed calm, they removed their sunglasses, they spoke calmly and politely to the men which had stopped the car. And we can be very thankful that nothing happened in terms of security, in terms of harm to any of the staff whatsoever, in terms of physical well-being. But of course, it was a traumatic event. And that's the other area where the role of a country director and the leadership of an NGO is incredibly important. That these incidents do happen. We need to be prepared for them, and when they happen, we need to deal with them and make sure that our staff get the care and support that they need.